It is June 7th, 2017. This is Atlanta United FC Weekly, a Home Before Dark podcast. I am Tim Herb. As always, I'm joined by my lovely co-hosts for this show. Right across from me, Mr. Kevin Bradley.
Hey!
And we have to the right, to Kevin's left, Mr. Dan James.
Hey, how's it going?
It's going well, man. How about you?
Not too bad. Not too bad.
Yeah, thank you guys for joining us live on YouTube. Make sure you tune in or join into the discussion on here. And then also make sure that if you guys are listening to us on iTunes, on Stitcher, on Pocket Cast, Podcast Addict, anything like that, make sure that you guys leave us a review.
We got
Let us know what you think of the show.
Right?
Yeah, let's go ahead and get that out of the way. Thank you guys for all of you guys that keep leaving reviews. It's awesome. It just helps us get more exposure on iTunes.
They're just killing it. It's like every week, bam, 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 bam.
And I continue.
Where do you keep finding these guys?
I continue to believe that Dan James is paying these folks off because the amount of shit they're talking about Kevin and me.
I know, right?
I have a bone.
You got roped into this last one. It's pretty savage. It's the last one, Dan.
All right. Passing par 2.2. Well, sometimes they miss a week drunk. Excuse me, sir. While I appreciate
we have not
review,
missed a week.
We have never missed a week, despite how drunk Kevin is. We've never missed a week. Anyway.
Committed.
They're such an entertaining podcast. I've heard other people say that it's like hanging out with your friends and discussing the game or drinking. And that is correct. I look forward to this podcast every week. Hashtag Orlando is not the South.
That is. So, Dan, could you do me a favor real quick and run back through those? Don't read them, but just count how many. What's our streak right now of Orlando is not the South? I want to say it's 5. My guess is 5.
I'm going to say, how many is it? I'll say 6.
5.
Oh, I got it right on the head.
Nice.
Oh, yeah. It's 5.
Yeah, they probably won it before that. But yeah, that's awesome.
That's
I do have a bone to pick. I love that you left that review. But I am straight edge. I don't drink. This is LaCroix. It's actually Kroger LaCroix.
Oh, my God.
Yep. I drink
for the both of us.
Yeah, no. But yeah, Dan's right. We haven't missed a week. I don't know what's going on. You missed a week.
Maybe you're saying I missed a week because I wasn't here, but still called in.
Yeah, it's true.
That would make sense because he was saying because they were drunk. So that would make sense. Okay.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Me and Tim holding it down.
Yeah.
I still called in.
Yeah, and then Dan calling in last week.
That's right.
Drunk.
Yeah.
Drunk with responsibility.
we got some exciting guests coming up in the next couple of weeks. We actually have a call in today. We talked about last week, Mr. TAOK on the podcast.
Is it him or is it his buddy?
It's TAOK that's going to be calling
nice.
from the iTunes review that he left and let us know that he's going to these games on the road. Went to the Vancouver game. He's going to call
Vancouver.
in. Yeah, he's going to call in at 9:30, and
that poor bastard.
Yeah,
that's a tough one to go on the road for.
Yeah, it is. It is a tough one to go on the road for. It's it looks like a cool city. I would absolutely love to go to Vancouver at some point, but
Yeah, I've heard nothing about great things about Vancouver, the city, but that was that kind of ruined my night. Anyway.
No. I think Vancouver, to me, from what I hear, is like a less pretentious version of Portland. Is that right?
Isn't most places less pretentious than Portland?
Yes. No drama. Hashtag no drama. Hashtag
no pity.
No pity. Jay Riddle says hello from a top secret bunker in Texas. Appreciate it. And thank you guys, all you guys tuning in. Make sure you interact with us. Let us know what you think of what we're talking about or anything from the games that you guys had in mind that you want to talk about. Anything to keep our minds off. Hey, you know what? Let's take a step back. We did have a road game. We went, what is it? About 3,000 miles away.
Yeah,
something like that. That was the longest trip, I believe.
I think so. Yeah, it's not too much farther than Seattle is, right?
Yeah. That's pretty relative, but it's still further.
Yeah. Another guy, Jay says Robert Swick. This is impressive. Did the Portland, Vancouver, Seattle match tour.
What?
That's crazy.
Good God.
There's probably some, it's definitely impressive. There are definitely got to be some inexpensive flights to take, right? Probably between Alaskan Airlines and Southwest. And
yeah. Apparently Southwest got that deal for you can buy flights for $100.
That's awesome.
Until like tomorrow.
Oh, Kevin, popping the cork on a new bottle of Elijah Craig as I'm talking about how we're not
like an infant. This is so big.
I don't know. It just looks like you've got small hands.
I feel like I need to cradle the skull.
Shout out to Eric Quintana from Miles of the South saying he's trolling random Orlando City threads for the next hour.
Yes. Excellent.
We absolutely love it. We love that everybody's getting in on this as much as we are. We love it. I think there were some people in the Atlanta United FC fans on Facebook, that big group, that, whenever I was talking about Orlando not being the South, he's like, I've heard that. He's like, I'm from England. Why do you guys say that? It's like, culturally, they're really not part of the South.
Right.
I mean, geographically, they are. Yep. Hashtag Orlando's not the South. We had a discussion last week about how they weren't involved. I don't think anything south of Gainesville was really involved in the Civil War, but that's pretty much the marker. Right?
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah.
He
was saying he was like, I understand why they were butthurt. I was like, nah,
no,
that's all right. It's like, I guess. What was I going to say? I was going to try and make some ill-advised comparison to Scotland and Wales and England and the UK.
Nah, just go.
Just stop.
Yeah.
Just continue
I'll go ahead
on.
and stop. Yeah.
But speaking of Orlando, I mean, we're going to talk about Atlanta game, obviously. How the fuck do they pull that out? 2 men down against that Chicago
That
team?
was really impressive defensive display.
What? Is that good for us? Oh, cracking open a cold one with the boys.
Yeah. That was a Johnsonville brat that you just heard me.
Snap it open Kobayashi style.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So what do you think? I guess we'll talk about that later whenever we talk about Chicago game. But still, Orlando pulling out a W, 2 men down.
No, it was a draw.
Or, yeah.
It was a draw, but still, 2 men down.
Points.
2 men down for about 25, 30
Just
minutes.
Ridiculous.
That's pretty impressive. I wonder, I mean, it's MLS, so I'm not surprised, but
True.
Still, you've got to give them props for doing that.
True.
Then that's about it.
Yeah. All right. So Vancouver game. What time? TAOK calling in at 9:30, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So
it's just interesting seeing the stuff Eric is talking to about these Orlando fans about this guy Mike Kennedy saying Atlanta United gave away their MLS tickets to the Falcons season ticket holders.
oh fuck right.
Yeah, I have a season ticket to Atlanta
Same.
United.
Yeah, but a lot of Falcons season ticket holders have Atlanta United season tickets, so
Right. And
Yeah.
guess
you
what?
can be both.
Atlanta United's a hell of a lot cheaper. That's for sure.
Yeah, I would say so. I like it. Adeline City Light saying cracking a hot one open with the boys.
Oh, well, fitting.
Yeah.
Bourbon neat. I'll
Yeah.
take it.
Eric says the crossover for those season tickets is actually less than 3%.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Wow.
that's interesting.
That
That's
is
good. That's a good statistic to know. So Vancouver game.
Heartbreaker. Fucking heartbreaker.
But
Considering
so take a step back. We didn't. The score line wasn't indicative of how close that game was to me.
no.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Dan. You seem to be biting your tongue.
And no, I think we were totally out prepared, ironically, and totally out muscled.
Does Tata need to sit? No, I'm just kidding.
I think that's a good point.
I think so. I don't know if Bloom would have done much better, but Mears was he was so slow. Like our first corner, we were playing it short again, and well, we didn't play it short. We were given the illusion of playing it short, but then Almiron kicks it straight out to Mears, but Mears starts his run way too early, so Vancouver could just come out and easily defend it. We were totally outplayed.
I feel like Mears was another game where Mears is constantly out of position anytime he's anywhere close to the 18 on the other side of the pitch.
It wasn't so much he was out of position. He was just so slow getting to anything.
He's slow to get to it or just too quick. Like he just could not find a rhythm to where he's making a run of anything of substantial value up top.
Yeah. I mean,
like he's either offsides and he has to pull off of the run as soon as the ball gets played to him, or he's not even fucking close to being in the vicinity to make a play. And
Right.
It takes Gressel playing that. I mean, which was great. Like his ball to Garza was fucking gorgeous.
oh yeah, it was great assist.
Yeah.
Great assist. I have a feeling that the whole Atlanta team went out Friday night and got completely shit-faced.
Same.
And then played for the first 10 minutes. And what was really getting frustrating, LGP had a terrible game. Him and Garza, I noticed there were a couple of times where they would be fighting for the ball. Then as soon as the ball they would play it off to a pass, they would just sort of shrug their shoulders and start walking. It was like they were actually hungover.
Well, that is exactly what led to that second goal, where you have Gressel and LGP both standing completely still and don't even make a challenge on the ball. And I think you're right. Like, whether or not they were really hungover or not, I think that this game and the result of this game falls back on the defense more than it does on the offense or the midfield.
Agreed, wholeheartedly. So I want to get to another. Okay, I'll table this one point. But to talk about the second goal, there was myriad defensive errors there.
Yes, absolutely.
Garza and Mears were nowhere to be seen.
No, and the two people in the vicinity to make a play do not even challenge the ball.
Yeah, Yamil Assad ushers it.
Assad,
he's like, oh, Alec Kane's gonna get. Oh no,
yeah, like you never like if the ball's going towards the like. Yes, I know what you're about to say. He doesn't know where Can is, and I get that. However, as a defender, you're always last man. And so if that ball is coming at you and you're between the ball and the goal, if you don't see the keeper, you make a play on the ball and you fucking clear it out. I put that on Assad more than just he doesn't know where Can is. And
I don't know. I put that more on LGP than anybody.
No, I put it on them, but I'm saying that I think that Assad's still at fault after that mistake. Assad should have made a play.
So if LGP and Garza wouldn't have just abandoned the whole left side of the field.
True. That doesn't even happen. This conversation doesn't start.
Exactly.
You're right.
I mean, and that was one thing that LGP, the ball gets played out and then he just stops running and then just starts walking, trotting over to the semicircle but there's 3 Vancouver defenders right behind him, goal side. And
so I don't understand how this happens. Like this is the problem that I'm facing in looking at this
we don't
game.
Clear the ball. We are so afraid. We are so afraid as a ball playing team to clear the ball out of the back. I feel like there's so many opportunities that before that second goal happened, where leading up to maybe the pass or the last few touches before it went in, that we could have just even had a whiff at the ball, have a crack, just slice it, put it out of bounds.
Exactly.
I mean, if you score an own goal like that, then
who gives a shit? You're at least making a challenge on the ball. Like, I mean, I don't again like not playing the ball. It gets by 3 players whenever that cross comes in. Like, yes, systematically that should have never gotten to that point. Yeah. However, once the ball is played into the box, you've got to make a play on the ball, and that is at every step of the way. And if somebody's not, I mean, it's just like on defense. Like we've talked continuously about Larenowicz's rotation out with Mears or Garza as they're going up, or coming back to cover as a striker is coming up to be that next man in line. If they poke and get beat or whatever, they're there to pick up the slack. That goal is a direct result of that play not taking place on a set piece, essentially. So it's not a set piece because it's just a cross coming in, but still, First defender misses, challenge doesn't get made. That's up to Assad to make a play on the ball. Like I don't put that. I can't justify that just because he wasn't sure where Can is. If you're the next defender up, you've got to make a play on the ball, and you can't just put your hands in the air and let it ride.
100%. I think this is. I don't think it's the nail in the coffin for Tyrone Mears. Jay Riddle says Mears can't get on a switch and looks like a scared rabbit when he's in the opponent's final third. Tokyo Soul says Bloom will have a chance to prove himself as a better player than Mears once we start having 2 games a week.
When does that start?
That I'm not sure. I think September, right, is whenever we really start cranking out the fixtures.
Gotcha.
But to Jay's point, I think I've been saying this since the beginning. I think that Bloom doesn't try to be an attacker. I think Mears
starts in June.
It starts in June.
Yeah, so we've got
I'm way off.
We've got Chicago Fire Saturday, Wednesday we have Charleston, and then Saturday Columbus,
but
Wednesday
Charleston,
DC.
I guess. I mean,
we're playing against the Battery.
That's the game here.
Remember
on the 14th.
I completely, dude.
But is that a game that you really put in your mind as a challenging game, or more just a cleanup game for them to try to iron something? Maybe that's the first game Joseph comes back.
Potentially. The other thing is, I mean, you could put out your B squad and just see how they do against Charleston.
Right.
However, it's 5 wins and you've got yourself a championship.
Can I say that when we play at KSU, it's going to be a hoot?
Stop.
Because they're the Owls.
Stop.
No, dad joke. No, it'll be great. I mean, that game, the U.S. Open Cup game, you'll get to see Andrew Carlton, right? You'll probably get to see Brandon Vasquez. So is there any sort of, this is just my ignorance, And Jay says it's almost sold out. That's interesting. Or that's great.
Yeah, it's like 6,000 or 8,000 tickets or something.
Yeah, he said 9,000 to 10,000 is sold out. Is almost sold out. So, is there any sort? I know in England, whenever there's a loan situation, parent club situation, those players aren't allowed to play against that team. If that clause is in the contract, I guess.
And then I think you get cup tied, but.
Is that for those of you guys listening, you guys would know better than me most likely. I don't know, Dan, but like I was saying, in England, if you sign that parental team clause, whenever you do a loan, that team can't, or that player can't play against you. So are we going to see Tim Backus in the game? Are we going to see
it's
different. Andrew Colton,
I think.
Is that Jeffrey O2 that's over there too?
In England, you're not really going to loan out your players to competitors in the same league as you. It's usually you're loaning out to lower divisions.
Speak for yourself.
And
we loaned out Lazar Markovic, Mamadou Sakho. You had Callum Chambers go to
sensible teams in England.
Yeah, the ones that don't tap up defenders before they try and buy them, even though the player wants to come play for them. Fucking idiots.
Salt. Oh. Should have made margaritas tonight.
Yeah. Virgil van Dijk not being a Liverpool player next year is reason for me to start drinking. So
I like where this is headed. I'll go get you a glass.
He said they can. Jay says they can play against us in the Open Cup.
Mm-hmm.
So it's interesting. That's good. I think that's great. I mean, it's that they're honestly playing against better competition than they are in the USL.
Yeah.
Right. So. Where were we? So, talking about Bloom. I mean, was this the nail in the coffin, you guys, for Mears?
I would like to see Bloom start next week.
I would too. Again, we've talked about. We've been big proponents of his since we saw him play in Montreal,
or at least a second half sub. Maybe not a full 90, but 45.
Yeah. I would give him a start, and then if he needs to get subbed off halfway through, if he's not having a good game, I really think you just need to sub him. You don't need to.
I would put Mikey Ambrose in there before Mears too.
So here's the thing:
Mears is an old dude. He might need a break.
I agree. And so here's the other thing: is we've heard it from other people online talking about how Bloom. We're just looking at it through rose-colored glasses.
Yeah,
like
that we don't know that they're both mediocre MLS players,
right? Yeah. And I don't know that we are looking at this completely objectively or from a fair weather standpoint that Mears should be taken out and written off completely. But I think it warrants the conversation at least for a half.
He's not warranted. He's not written off completely. I've just lost patience with him, and I think sitting him down may, teach him a lesson for
or at the very least, I think that his assignment needs to be adjusted and that he's not as forward pressing as he is like Greg Garza is, because I think that that's what leads to holes and failures on that side of the pitch that leads to bigger issues.
It's difficult though, because we want him, we really need him to do the same thing as Garza.
I agree. But if he's not going to do that and do that well,
right?
Then
you can't force it. You can't force it. I mean, you look at Barcelona over the years. If you have Jordi Alba and you have Dani Alves playing on opposite sides, they can both get up. They can both get back. They can both play that same style of play.
Dani Alves, though.
It's true. No, that's, it's all relative.
It's a valid point.
It's all relative.
Right.
So, Mears is way far away from being our Dani Alves to Greg Garza's Jordi Alba.
I agree.
Interesting formation that Jay Riddle is throwing out is that Bloom may play as the left back behind Garza, who's to be pushed back and then to put Assad in the middle. Yeah,
I think rewatching this game, I think Assad.
You put Assad in the middle,
but the thing is,
Almiron up top.
No. Almiron's on international duty right now.
Oh, that's right. He's out.
So correction from last week. I had a couple flub ups. We honestly didn't know until reading in the
drunk, unprepared.
Shout out to DirtySouthSoccer.com because they actually explained the rule to us. Dan and I think, are so used to watching the Big Five in Europe and seeing whenever the international break comes in, the league shuts down.
Yeah.
So we're not used to these rules.
Not in Birmingham.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess you haven't had to worry about a national team player playing in Birmingham for a long time.
Hey, I can't remember his name.
You're barely still part of the country.
We had a Jamaican national team.
You're barely a part of the country at this point.
You guys had Ricardo Gardner was on Bolton.
Yeah, Ron Gardner. We got the shit Gardner.
No, so who was it? Craig Gardner?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we didn't realize that Almiron, though he got called up by Paraguay, we had the opportunity to hold him back from going into the.
Great decision that was.
Yeah, going and playing in that friendly against France, I believe it was. They played. Yeah, I want to say Paraguay played France on Friday. Yeah, so
it's just a friendly. So.
Yeah, he's down there playing against Peru. Was that today?
I don't know.
Anyway,
but I heard he gets back Friday. So it's a real short, like he's going to join them in
never mind.
Chicago.
It's Thursday's the friendly, or Thursday's the World Cup qual. No, I guess it is a friendly. I thought we were all doing World Cup qualifiers at this point. U.S. men's national team in the hexagonal against
tonight,
Trinidad and Tobago tomorrow night.
Yep. So we've obviously, there's a lot of negative. Any more negatives? I want to move to positives. I think we need some, and there was definitely some to be had.
Yep. Ousted dazzled Almiron. Did you see that?
What?
Yep. Ousted, the goalkeeper from Vancouver, had the ball. Almiron goes sprinting in, and Ousted just jinks a little bit, takes it around him, and then passes it back out.
Yeah.
Also, there was zero the communication was terrible between Parkhurst and Mears. They were even talking about it between themselves. It sort of looked like it was. I'm really starting to worry about Parkhurst.
Mm-hmm.
I like the guy.
Did we inception that thought into your brain last week? I think everyone's looking a little. At least I certainly am.
The whole fact that he got subbed.
Yeah.
I thought
that's a good point.
When he got subbed, that was strange, and it led me to think, well, does Anton Walkes have minutes that is pre-regulated in his contract? Because if you've got a loan player, what's the point in giving him minutes?
I agree.
When you've got other people that you can potentially bring in.
And it's your captain, no less.
Exactly.
So you mentioning the defense, and I forgot, I completely blanked on the third goal. So, and Parkhurst as well. So talking about Parkhurst, first goal, I think I can watch it. I know that you guys had some beef with it. Parkhurst does not make a challenge on the ball. I argue that the only challenge he can make forces a penalty. He gets completely outboxed. Plays body.
Goal?
Yeah, first goal.
Parkhurst doesn't try. He doesn't even attempt to get goal side.
I get that.
I don't think he could.
That's my argument, is that I think that he's outbodied and he's outboxed.
He could have at least stuck a leg out in front, not in front of the player, in his front.
At that point in the match, he can't make a play that gets himself sent off.
I think that either he gets sent off or he forces a costly penalty, which I don't know. I can forgive that first goal. The second and third, I have much bigger issues with, because there's no challenge whatsoever. Like, first goal, I can say he's at least in the vicinity. He's playing consciously. It's early enough in the game. I don't want a costly penalty that leads to a PK and him getting sent off. And he just gets outplayed. Like, he gets bodied. What's the striker's name?
Weston.
Yeah, I mean
you mean the
center back?
The center back.
Yeah, their
center back captain.
Yeah. Whatever. So gets outplayed, gets outbodied. That said, third goal, no one should be outbodying Kenwyne Jones, and I don't know why he's not playing man to man in that instance.
Kenwyne Jones was bullshit this game.
Exactly.
He was fucking shit.
Fucking ridiculous.
So when Tata did the sub taking off Renowitz for him, it's like, okay, great. At least he's going to go for it.
Yeah.
And then Kenwyne Jones did nothing.
A defensive substitution. It almost seemed like
put in two up top.
No, he rotated out.
No, it almost seemed like Kenwyne Jones came in to defend set pieces, because we gave up that goal, I don't know.
And yet he does not defend the fucking set piece that leads to the third goal. That's my problem.
Maybe I'm wrong.
He wouldn't have taken, if it was defensive, he wouldn't have taken risks. Plus Carmona was playing by himself at that point. So
yeah, that's true.
I mean, Jones did nothing. He did nothing, and on the third goal, he just.
Why is our biggest player not manning up their biggest player? Is my biggest issue.
So
it doesn't do anything.
LGP was on Waston the whole game, and it wasn't till we were 3 goals down and 9 corners to the difference that he actually made a play, an aggressive play on Waston. To that point, and Waston did not get the.
Yeah, they had 8 corners to our 4. Speaking of which,
I just pulled 9 out. Yeah, I mean,
pretty fucking close.
So LGP didn't even have a play on Waston, and Waston's taller. I think he's a little heavier, but you've just got to make an aggressive play on those guys. If you're not aggressive, then it's not going to happen.
So I think the other thing is, back to what we were saying 3 weeks ago, with playing this pass first rather than make an offensive play. We have 67% possession in this game, and yet Vancouver has 17 shots on goal versus our 7. Like, we're just not. I mean, I don't understand. Like, I know maybe it's just a fluke game or whatever it may be, but I just don't know how that happens after 3 weeks of just like consistent improvement, and we're seeing this team click and play systematically better across the entire pitch, and then just to see so many holes and so many failures on defense is just really disheartening. Granted, I mean, so we did get a couple of tough breaks, and this is like a good transition into the positive. Like, Almiron was still taking shots on goal. We hit post 2 or 3 times this game.
It was twice. There was a header from Carmona, and then there was
a
also
volley by it was the header. Yeah, the top left post. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and then we hit post in the beginning or in the first half.
And then we had the
Carmona, and then we had
the clusterfuck at the end of the goal.
Yeah. Sorry.
And then I can't remember who hit the bar on that, but LGP tried to. God, if he'd headed it the other way, he would have scored, and I'd have been so happy. But
Eric makes a good point. They had 4 men in the midfield, and they were against Almiron the entire time.
So
kind of the way NYCFC did.
Yeah. Good point.
They played.
Or who was it? Portland.
So they played 4-1-4-1. The only other team who we've played who did that formation was Minnesota. Now DC usually play like that, but they didn't against us. They played like a different formation.
Yeah.
But what that allowed them to do, see, I drew a diagram with arrows. And
God damn it, Dan.
And what it allowed them to do is every time we were to get the ball, they could
do you want to go hold it up to the camera so
they could have put at least 3 guys on our player to totally block him out. Every time Almiron got the ball, there was at least 2 guys going for him. So they totally planned. They planned exceptionally well, which I was actually really impressed with. And we were. This has been a terrible performance for us. But if we lose to them like this, I'm not worried about it.
So that's the thing.
We were totally outplayed, and we were totally hungover.
We were outplayed and we were hungover. But at the same time, like I think that's exactly what it was. It wasn't that we got.
It's a wash game.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't get outpaced. It's not like they sat back and tired us out. Like, I think that we were consistently playing outside of defense, just not making plays when plays needed to be made. But I didn't see a complete, letdown on a consistency on the pace of play throughout the game, which was was really frustrating during those weeks with Kenwin, and you saw players not.
We had some hustle.
Right. So I think we got TAOK calling in just a second. Kevin, another Kevin or Kevin.
Actually, giving Kevin, I think I'm giving him a call. You guys can hear the Skype. Hey, Kevin, can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
Hey, what's up, dude?
Hey, Kevin, how's it going, man?
Hey, how's it going?
We're doing pretty well. I'm sorry you are probably a couple of $100 down and a lot of energy down.
Man, it's rough times going to these away games when everybody in MLS is winning home games.
Yeah, that's a struggle for sure, especially whenever you come back to Atlanta and then they fall to DC United.
So how many away games have you been to?
All of them except for Montreal.
Oh my gosh. So was this pre-planned? Did you premeditate this, or is it just being off the cuff?
Well, I mean, I've been super excited for the teams. It's like since it was announced.
So what's been your favorite away experience of the ones that you've been to?
Minnesota.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah, 6-1. 6-1 is pretty nice.
6-1 with the snow, that atmosphere.
The snow.
Both another new team
supported them.
That's awesome.
That's cool. Yeah, expansion buddies.
Plus, they've got cheese curds up there, which are the best food. They're one of my top 6 things about America.
Oh yeah, it was great, and they made sure that I got nice and drunk before because it was going to be so cold. So it was really nice.
You're in good company there.
Yeah. So when did you go out to Vancouver, and when did you get back?
I live in Seattle, so I got there the night before, and then I drove up in the morning of.
Oh, that's awesome. You're in Seattle supporting the team. I think that's pretty amazing. So are you originally from Atlanta then?
Yeah, I'm from Atlanta. I just had to move out west for work. But I kept my house out there. My mom and my aunt moved in. So, I still come to Atlanta, stay there, and then go to all the home games too.
Oh, that's awesome. So do you have season tickets, or are you just buying them ad hoc?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man.
When they made that announcement back in 2014, I immediately put down my $50 to get a founding member.
That's fantastic. So nice. So far, what's the best crowd that you've been a part of?
The best crowd, in a sense that welcoming people, Seattle. Like they were real excited to see like Atlanta fans there. I was there with my roommate who's also from Atlanta, and like they were just really nice. Like
with that, I think that's the one team that I've heard televised where you can hear the fandom in the stadium like resonate over the broadcast.
It gets loud there.
So that begs the next question. Apart from the future Orlando game, which have been the worst fans you've experienced?
It's definitely going to be Orlando my time back here.
I'm glad you snuck that in there.
Man. They have been talking shit from like day one. They are just furious that Atlanta has a team.
Dude, they're so butthurt whenever they hear that or the South finally has a team to call their own.
That's right.
They are. But the worst crowd so far, I mean, it's not even like the crowd. It was just like one fan I had an interaction with at New York City, but I feel like that's just like New York. So it was like, it was fitting.
So tell us, what was Vancouver like? What was the atmosphere in the game?
It was quiet, to be honest, man. I mean, it wasn't like I could hear Tata like giving instructions right front row seat right in front of him.
So what was he saying?
I don't know. I don't speak too much Spanish. I know that.
I was going to say, Dan.
Tito, arriba. I said,
Izquierda.
But yeah, and it was just kind of quiet in there until they like scored all those goals. But
yeah, I can imagine. So what was it like after that first goal gets scored by Atlanta?
Even more quiet.
What was this?
In my section? The party of one Atlanta fan.
Okay, so that was going to be my next question. Was so were you in the Atlanta supporter section, or were you just?
No, I have not been in the Atlanta supporter sections for any games that I've gone to. I just buy tickets as close as possible, just because I wanted to get close to the game and actually see the team.
That's cool. It doesn't seem like MLS has the travelers supporter sections that you see in England and in Germany.
Yeah, you can't just take the train.
All the supporters groups are trying to throw it together for Orlando, though, which I really love. Like they need to.
I think Atlanta's gonna. I think Atlanta's gonna show up in full force there. I think Dan's gonna go.
I'm telling you, boys.
I would like to go. Can we start like a GoFundMe for Home Before Dark for you guys to donate for the crew to go down there?
Let's do it. Yeah. So are you gonna be in Chicago this weekend?
Oh yeah. I am flying to Michigan tomorrow to pick up my little brother, and then me and him are gonna go to the game.
Right on.
Jay says there's going to be 400 plus in Orlando at the moment. We've already sold. That's amazing.
Dude, that's going to be great.
That's awesome.
Yeah, because my tickets are actually right across the aisle from what's supposed to be the supporters or the visitors supporters group.
I've not seen it full except for the Chicago game.
Chicago was the only team that traveled well in a pack, and then they were shit bags. They were throwing beers at us and stuff. So
well, to be fair, I think I might have.
Yeah.
Might have been figured a little bit.
Yeah. Kevin giving him a real Miss America wave for a while, and then key change jingling. So for us, at least for me watching on TV, it seemed like the game was a lot closer than the score would indicate. Is that how? I mean, how did you feel throughout the game? Did it seem hopeful to you, or I mean,
it definitely did. Like even when we were down 2-1, it still seemed like we were going to come back. That Carmona off the post, like I thought that was it. Honestly, I thought it was, and we'd go in 2-2, we'd be all right. But it felt close. Like aside from the set pieces, like Atlanta was okay. They were still on the attack. That last barrage coming in with Almiron and GP, I really thought that was going into. They had an amazing save up the line twice.
It's just a tough break for Atlanta that entire game. I felt like there was what did we just count? 3 or 4 missed opportunities where it was either post or just ricocheted and just.
Was that you that I heard screaming obscenities whenever the referee took the penalty kick back?
May have been. I usually don't yell obscenities because I feel like there's going to be kids there, but I always yell really loud disagree. I actually got Kenwin Jones to look back and see me.
Nice.
Laughing.
He needs to hear that.
If only he had looked back and played that body on that third goal, maybe.
you know he's going to score a hat trick against the U.S.
Of course, of course.
He's just going to rain down on us. So how many other tickets do you have already secured for the rest of the season other than Atlanta home games?
I don't buy the away games until a month before because I have to set my schedule to make sure I can make them. But right now I have tickets to Chicago, DC, and that's it for this month.
So what game are you? So obviously you're going to try to go to as many as possible. What's the one that you're looking forward to the most?
Orlando.
Yeah. I could have answered that.
God, I think that we're just going to have to. I'm just going to pull money out of savings, man.
Yeah,
and just go.
You are, Tim.
Yeah.
I think GoFundMe might be an option.
It's going to be good because my girlfriend's parents live down there, so they're going to go to the game with me.
How
so I
far?
got to sort of be on my good behavior, but now I'm going to go crazy.
Has she got like 3 extra beds down there?
Yeah, exactly. We're legit.
Dude, one-day trip.
How far is Gainesville from Orlando?
Yeah, that's true. That's only like 2.5 hours.
I think we can make a pit stop at least. We got a couch we can crash on.
Yeah.
Dan, you're on your own.
Tim, we could do a one-day trip, but you'll have to do all the driving.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah, cool. You guys are going to be blitzed.
Or we could maybe make that work if we drive down and then you drive back. Or we just get a four. We get a foursome. Yeah.
So, do you have any other Atlanta supporters up there in Seattle that you know about?
Yeah. My roommate won. He's from Atlanta. This is like his first time leaving Georgia, living somewhere else. He moved up to Seattle.
Went about as far away as you can go.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
what's that?
He said went about as far away as you can go from Atlanta up there. That's sure.
Basically. He got away.
What about do you go to Sounders games very often?
I only went to one Sounders game before the Atlanta United one.
Yeah.
It was one where Dempsey had a nice penalty kick or whatever. And who else was there? I don't know. Dempsey scored a goal and it was nice. That's all I was really happy about.
Yeah.
So you know the deal. We do positives and negatives every game. Give us your biggest positive and biggest negative from this past week.
Biggest positive, Gressel all day, man. He's been my favorite player. He is just coming on strong. Rookie of the year right now. Top of the list.
I agree with that.
That's right.
And biggest negative?
Negative, man, that set piece defense. It is actually set pieces on both sides. I saw something today where they tried to explain why they do the short corner, but man, just
it's stupid.
Do better.
I can't get behind it. Yeah,
behind it either.
Do better.
Yeah,
but yeah, the set pieces. Like that game that's a 1-0 win. Aside from the set pieces.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, dude, so glad that we were able to get you on. Thanks for giving us a shout out. I mean, you're going to be our resident call-in. I think I speak for all three of us. If you're going to as many games as you are, we'll definitely be keeping.
I'm ready to go, man.
Yeah, we'll definitely
go to all these away games that I can. So, let me know.
That's awesome, man. That's great. And that's what this show is all about, is making sure that everybody has a voice and that all of those voices are chanting Orlando is not the South.
We got to get that going, man. We have to. We absolutely. I love the image that Jay Riddle put together last week of Florida being detached from the United States.
Just separated.
Yes, we need
that.
All you guys that are in supporters groups, all you capos, is it capos? We need a tifo made of that, and we need to put that up in the stadium in the supporters group. Whenever they come to Orlando.
I mean, we do the big banner, right, and that's done by the supporters groups. I'm assuming. I'm hoping if we've got that many people going in the supporters group to Orlando, that somebody makes a banner, and I hope that is the banner with hashtag Orlando is not the South on the bottom of it. If you're listening and you're part of that coordination effort, that's what we need. So yeah, thanks for calling in, Kevin, and look forward to talking to you again soon. And go
not a problem.
All right,
thanks, Kevin. Orlando's not the South.
Yeah.
Later.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
that's absolutely awesome.
Yeah,
what a great guy.
It's the namesake.
It's inherent in the name.
It really is.
Yeah. Jay says 2-pole banner for sure. He's in.
Yes.
Jay, talk to your people. Have your people talk to other people's people, because we don't have those people.
You can talk to us for naming rights.
Yeah. Cash donations.
Cash donations will be accepted.
We just
via Venmo or PayPal.
Yeah. No. And coming soon, Apple iMessage. Yes, you absolutely do need to make this happen, Jay. So our brand guidelines dictate that the yelling mom needs to be about 30% from each corner. It can't be more than 20% of the actual image.
Can we do if we go? We're gonna make a Home Before Dark banner. We're gonna change the HB4D in the what she's shouting to Orlando's Not the South, and just stretch it out with Home Before Dark stretched across the top. It's got to happen.
You've started on the podcast. It has to happen now. So.
God, I can't wait.
People keep you accountable.
It's great.
So that's savings transfer out, man.
Yeah,
exactly. I'll take out a second mortgage.
Good thing I'm only renting a house this year, not buying one.
Oh, great. Got jokes?
Indeed. So actually, to go back to one point that I kind of slipped in there, obviously the penalty call, in retrospect, should have never been called at all.
It shouldn't have, and I agree that it shouldn't be a PK.
So my biggest,
because it's the wrong penalty area.
Yeah. So, but you guys have a bigger issue with it.
So my issue is not with whether or not it was an actual penalty or not. My issue was the retroactive, I guess the rescinding of it. Excuse me. My problem with it is that the field referee, the main referee, has a much better view of what's going on than the line judge, who is 50, 60 yards or whatever, 50 yards.
Right. Especially on what he actually called on the foul.
Right.
Did he call a foul? I thought he called a handball is what.
That's what the
announcer said.
The commentators were saying. The foul was actually Villalba kicking the back of one of the defenders. And if you watch the replay, that all the Vancouver guys, all their arms point towards that happening. Whereas the commentators were saying, I think it was
the shoulder.
Gressel. Yeah, it was hitting William's shoulder.
Yeah.
So, but what happened was because the ref called the foul in the box, he pointed to the penalty spot. But what he did was he forgot that it was actually Vancouver's penalty box rather than Atlanta's. And therefore changed his mind and said, "Oh no,
he didn't.
It's just a free kick."
So that was the thing, right? He didn't change his mind. He
had to consult with his line judge. He had to consult
with the line judge, who had
not a good view.
Yeah,
that's not Atlanta's penalty box.
No,
it's so stupid. But at that point, to me, you have to swallow your pride, and you have to give that penalty because you called it.
I would rather, because my thought is, if I'm on the other side of that call, I would rather the right call be made than a call be made based on pride. So I think that the right call was made ultimately. It wasn't a PK. And even though we were on the losing end of that decision, I would rather that be the case because the opposite could just as easily be true. I would rather the right call be made than a call that's...
Yeah, it was a true MLS situation.
Right.
I agree with you.
I don't know.
It wasn't a penalty.
I don't know that this conversation would be the same had the roles been reversed.
The problem is
they wouldn't. Obviously, naturally. I mean, if that would have happened to us, and I would have been pissed. But at the same time, I mean,
so then that answers the whole thing.
No.
Yeah.
No, because I don't know that's a rational thought, because it's a more emotional thought than a rational thought. I don't know. I guess you can look at it either way, which side's rational, which side's emotional.
Exactly.
But for me, when do you ever see penalties get reversed like that?
I've never seen it.
I haven't either.
To be honest with you, and
that's what we were all like, wait, can you do that?
I've never seen, apart from watching MLS games, I've never seen a decision reversed by the referee.
No.
That's true.
That I can remember.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's happened just for the volume of games, but
we got an update. Orlando fans aren't wanting to play the game tonight. So,
what do you mean? Like play games with us?
The trolling game. Eric's trying to stoke him up.
Trying to poke him. Oh, come on, guys!
I can't wait till we're gonna have to go down there.
We need a big sit down with the Roar podcast for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be so fun. Okay, all right. So
one thing, we do have a hard stop in about 15 minutes.
Yeah. So did we do positives?
We Gressel, to me,
I think Gressel's game of the
game of the game,
game of the player.
Who sits when Joseph comes back? Is it Assad or is it Villalba? Because Gressel is indispensable right now.
Do you think Joseph comes back this week, or you still?
No,
he's got to come back as a sub this week, though, right?
He's only coming back as a sub when he comes.
But do you think that's finally going to be this week?
Yes.
I feel like we've been saying this for 5 weeks now.
He traveled to Vancouver. I think that
wasn't even on the bench.
But that was a thing of confidence, I think.
I agree.
And then he's definitely getting more intense in training.
Yep.
I think he'll be in. Yeah, I think he'll be on the bench in Chicago. I think he'll come in. Like,
I think
65th minute.
I would like to
70th minute.
I would like to see bench in Chicago, start against Charleston, and then start full.
I would like to know where the fuck Jacob Peterson's at.
Exactly. I agree. Okay, so to your point, who starts this week? I think Bloom gets to start in the back. I like the idea of shifting Garza as a result of that.
Bloom's naturally a right back, though.
But he filled in for Garza and was strong enough to fill in for Garza.
He's filled in for Garza and for Mears. He had a better game.
Filling in for Mears.
Yeah. In Montreal, whenever he shut down.
That said, do you think that shifting Garza up allows him to fill in for the lack of Mears on the opposite side?
No, I don't think you do that. I think that's a cool dream scenario, but you don't do that against Chicago.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
I don't think that you do that. I think you leave yourself exposed there.
Okay.
I say you want to play Garza, Perez, Parkhurst, Bloom, Commander Aronowitz, Assad, Kevin Kratz.
Oh, you fuck.
Gressel, Tito.
I think naturally that is the way that Tata's going to go. I don't think he wants to shake up the formation.
You just don't want Kratz to play because I want Kratz to play.
I want Kratz to play. That's exactly right.
I wanted to start. I still want to start.
Namesake. And it hurts me to say that, but you're right. It's just because I know that you want to start.
Yeah.
I want to start with the Kratz Krieg.
Or do you anchor the mid with Kenwin instead? Don't put him up.
Fuck. No, God damn it.
Too loud, Dan. You're gonna blow my eardrums out and break the podcast. Eric is on your side. Eric Quintana from Mazda South saying Kratz from Almiron.
I can see that too. I mean,
Kenwin. I wouldn't put him on the bench.
I wouldn't put Kenwin.
You can put Vasquez on the bench.
I've learned.
Can I get a little Andrew Carlton instead of Kevin Kratz?
He's is he back now?
He might be back. I'm not sure. To be
US
honest,
got eliminated.
Yeah,
England made it to the semis. But
shut up! Nobody cares.
You're an American now, Dan.
No, he's not. And don't
Tim. I think that's the dirtiest look I've ever seen.
He's not. He's not. He just comes and marries our women and has kids.
Robert Green, Clint Dempsey. Clint Dempsey scored the worst goal I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah. It's the worst goal I've ever
seen. All right, so we got 12 minutes left. Thoughts? Go.
Oh, thoughts? Chicago game?
Yes.
Chicago game. One thing I saw is, which I thought was very inaccurate, somebody on Twitter saying that Chicago is just Schweinsteiger and 10 other guys.
Well, Dax McCarty's not going to be there.
That's true, but have they not watched David Accam play? Have they not watched that team play at all? Solignac and I don't know. The team to me,
Nikolic.
Nikolic is the leading goal scorer in the MLS still, right? So, I don't know. I think we lose on the road. I think we're without Almiron.
I'm saying 1-1 draw. I'm gonna start writing them down. Tim, what do you think?
Oh,
by the way, we were all wrong for Vancouver. Obviously, I thought it was 1-1. Dan thought it was 2-1.
I said 2-0.
2-0. Yeah. All off on that one.
I am gonna go with 1-0 Chicago. I think David Accam scores a goal.
All right. So Tim says 1-0 Chi-Town. I say 1-1.
I say 2-1 loss.
Oh, that's a fucking tough one.
Who do you got scoring, Kevin?
Me, I think Villalba and Schweinsteiger.
I think Assad gets a goal, and probably Accam gets a goal, and then Parkhurst scores an own goal. Really stab the dagger.
Yeah. I just got really excited. Thank you, Jay Riddle. He said he just spoke to the Tifo Ninjas. It's very possible they will help me knock out the Florida breaking off banner next week. Dude, that would be the most amazing thing I've ever seen in my life. One thing I wanted to touch on, and I think that's something we can continue the discussion about, is I think the honeymoon period is over with us. I think it's time to start looking at
with this podcast.
Yeah. Yeah. With this team. Obviously, we love. I think it's a transition now to where we really have to start thinking about the club and less about the players. I think that we're getting to the point where we can stop mythologizing the players that we have, and we could start critically.
I think
acknowledging
that's where this discussion about Mears comes into play.
And I think you guys are finally starting to also critique Michael Parkhurst.
I agree with that completely.
True. It was hard, Tim. It was really
but the veneer is starting to wear off on these players because they're so new. We had a great start to the season. It's the perfect combination. It was the perfect storm of brand new team. City's crazy. We have a team that's playing well for an expansion team. It's hard for us to find and poke holes in the team. Because in the games that we lost, we really weren't playing that poorly.
Right. And in some cases, we outplayed the other team.
Yeah, true.
That fucking DC United game, how the hell that happens is beyond me.
Well, it's trust me, as being a Liverpool fan, there are plenty of times where you'll have 70% possession, you'll lose to fucking Burnley.
Yeah.
It's going to happen.
As long as we don't lose to Orlando.
That's what happens.
I can't stomach it. It makes me sick.
It's just what happens whenever you're too afraid, or you're not. You can't swallow your pride and kick the ball out of the back sometimes.
Yeah,
and you get caught playing with it at your feet in the backfield. You don't do that in the back third. I understand, whatever. Sometimes it's okay to be a high school soccer team.
I agree.
But yeah, I
for the ability to just adjust at all.
Yes, because it's true. We've been very rigid. Yeah.
Partly, I think that was because of Vancouver's formation this week. I think they were able to clog and get the width.
And we've talked about this before. Speaking of width, their field dimensions, another thing that has plagued Atlanta when playing on smaller
fields. Did Vancouver
fields.
have a smaller field?
What was it, 75 by 105, I think it was, or something like that?
75. Oh, that's the same as Bobby Dodd?
No.
Bobby Dodd, I thought... When
Bobby
we spoke about
I thought Bobby Dodd was 180, or I thought it was 80 by 110 for some reason.
Oh. No, I thought we talked previously about Bobby Dodd being 75.
I could be wrong on Vancouver's field size.
I'll tell you in just a second. Just keep going.
But I know that Tim and I had looked it up. I can't remember the exact dimensions of it. I'm so glad you have a notebook full of notes, Dan, that maybe you can pull a reference out.
I only have
to save me.
NYC.
I'm talking in true home before dark fashion with no safety net and with 100% confidence.
You're just peeing into the wind.
Yeah. So that said, I really do. We looked it up. I know it's a shorter field. It's
so BC Place is 117 by 75.
So same as.
And Bobby Dodd it actually doesn't have it listed in Wikipedia.
Yeah, I couldn't find it.
I thought it was 120 by 80, maybe.
I don't know. Still, Jay Riddle knows.
Trying to find excuses. For
Eric says Bobby Dodd is actually 70 wide. So
oh wow, so we did have more room to play.
Yeah,
great.
We did.
So fuck me, right? Cool.
Yeah.
All right. So
that concept is still so weird to me, but
yeah.
I just would like for the community as a whole to stop holding these players, to put them on a pedestal. They're not beyond reproach.
But I get that perspective too. Like, just as much as we were in the early games of the season and we couldn't really have those conversations because we hadn't seen enough of them, this is still a really young team, and the chemistry is building, and that's what is so frustrating about a week like the week against Vancouver, where it's like, how does this happen after the past 3 weeks that Atlanta's played against teams like
look at
NYCFC?
Look at Philadelphia. Philadelphia reeled off 4 really impressive wins, and then they fell flat in their next.
And then you've got Portland, who starts out the season on fire and goes through 6 games without a win.
Toronto just lost in emphatic fashion with Sebastian Giovinco back. They just lost 3-0 to New England Revolution.
And then Real Salt Lake gets destroyed.
Well, Dallas to me is the best team in the league. Toronto still to me is the best team in the league.
I agree with that.
Okay.
But Dallas for sure, best team in the West. Really excited that Jesse Gonzalez did an about face and he's playing for the U.S. men's national team now. He turned his back on Mexico, which is awesome. We have a great crop of young keepers with him, Bendick, and then a couple others. I mean, you have Klinsmann's kid that's coming up, though he wants to go play in Germany. But
the way I see it, you in the MLS, you're gonna have these games. It's just that you want to limit the amount of times these games happen.
Exactly.
Something which Real Salt Lake cannot do right now.
And Atlanta is starting to get to a position where I don't think that they have many more games that they can drop against something like Vancouver. Like I realize
I don't think that
because what week is this? 13?
Yeah, we just finished with week 13, yeah.
So we are a third of the way through the season.
Right, but we've also had mostly road games, and at the end of the season we're going to have the same, like I think we've got like 6 or 8 home games in a row.
Can you imagine? I mean, Mercedes-Benz is just going to be bananas.
Just to refresh your guys' memories, we're at Chicago, back home against Columbus, at DC, back home against Colorado, at Columbus, back home against San Jose, at Orlando, back home against Orlando. And we have 3 straight road games against KC, DC, Philly. And then we have a total of 5 straight home games between the 10th of September and then the 27th of September.
And the shitty thing is that's college football season.
we actually have 3 games within a 7-day stretch. And we're playing against Dallas, New England, and Orlando. So it's not a cakewalk.
Except for Orlando.
True. Yeah. I mean, that's a given.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. I mean, out of the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 home games, we're playing the 8 of our last 10 at home.
That's going to be a good way to round it out, especially because 6 of those are in Bobby Dodd?
Yeah, we're still going to be a playoff team. I have no doubt about that.
All right, so
yeah, these games are just going to be a wash. It's a wash. New York City was a wash.
I mean, we'll see. I can't say that for sure. We'll see. I mean, Vancouver is only a wash if we show up against Chicago, in my opinion. I can say it's a wash if it ends in a wash, but if we go up and struggle against Chicago, I can't say that. So, did we get any score prediction? We got one score prediction on Twitter by our buddy. Oh, was it Kirby?
Kirby.
Yeah. I think he said 2-0. Is that right? Yeah, Kirby says 2-0 Atlanta. Bounce back match. Chicago continues their scoring troubles. Also, Orlando is not the South.
Yeah, that's I love that. God, I love that. Yeah, everybody's ending their messages. Salman, who's been tuning in every week to the show and interacting with us on YouTube, shout out to you, despite the fact that you have a Man U icon.
Good man, Salman.
I still love you. He says 1-3 Atlanta. Wow. Okay, that's good. And nothing else so far. So
okay. So obviously you guys can find us all over the place.
Make sure you subscribe to us on YouTube. If you guys aren't a lot of you guys aren't podcast listeners. If you guys are fans of watching stuff on YouTube, or if you have YouTube Red and you listen to it in your car, whatever, subscribe to us. You get alerts whenever we go live, and you guys can tune in and join.
Yeah. So thanks for checking us out. If you did on YouTube, obviously this is on iTunes tomorrow. Send us reviews and comments on iTunes to hear them read on the show. Dude, I'm really psyched to have Kevin back on. How awesome is that?
Yeah, it's going to be great.
That's really cool. We still got some stuff in the works. We've got some guests coming back in. Eric Quintana, we talked to him. Jason Longshore, who we're going to reach out off the woodwork, have him on.
No. It's soccer down here. Yeah, it's soccer down here. Yeah, we're also going to
shows.
We're trying to work out the schedule too to get Kyle Tate from off the woodwork on here.
So yeah, and then we've got a bunch of other supporters, founding members and stuff like that we talked about having on the show as well to give their spiel, so to speak.
We got a long season, guys.
Yeah, we got a lot of really great content.
Thank you guys for being part of it with us.
Yeah, so you can find all of us on Twitter. Tim, where can they find you?
You can find me at Tim Herb.
Daniel?
You can find me at DNJMS, and thanks for finally following me.
quick funny story, guys. So Kevin and I run the Home Before Dark Twitter page.
Obviously, I do not.
Dan So Dan has been so absent from Twitter. This show actually brought him back into the Twitter fold.
That's true.
And I guess at some point, either we never followed him on Twitter, or I don't know if we cut the fat.
Might have just
because he wasn't tweeting, he wasn't interacting.
Yeah,
but we realized today we weren't following Dan James.
Yeah,
so you guys don't make the same mistake. Go follow.
That's weird. You followed me the same day I posted a penis pic. So
it was the same day you texted me one too. So you can find me as well at The Architect. That's at @the_ARC number 1 TECT. Collectively at Home Before Dark. That's before spelled B and the number 4. Go check out GetHomeBeforeDark.com. Tim and I also run a sister show on the network, which is just Get Home Before Dark, where we post interviews and conversations about anything and everything under the sun. We love the hell out of you guys. Thanks for checking us out. As always, be home before dark.
Let's go get some buckets of water.